just looks suspicious. You know, like you want him to fail. I hope he doesn't. I don't believe he will. And I do believe the opportunity is incredible for him, but I don't like how it's going down.
Got that intestinal fortitude, great genes. We know what Deion Sanders was. We know what his son Shedeur looked like on a collegiate level, and I'm rooting for the brother, and I hope that he does well tonight.
Stephen A. Smith is back, and he's cranking the pressure up on Shedeur Sanders like never before. With that signature fire in his voice, Stephen A. made it crystal clear. He knows Shedeur personally, knows the entire Sanders family, and understands exactly what comes with carrying Deion's legacy. But this isn't just about the name. According to Stephen A., Shedeur is sharper, more polished, and more locked in than ever. In his eyes, this isn't just another rookie QB fighting for a shot. This is a generational talent on the verge of making serious noise. And if you're still on the fence, Stephen A. has one message. You might want to rethink that doubt.
It just resonates with me that you fall to 144. It's a story he doesn't need to pay attention to. He's on an NFL roster. Move forward. Don't think about that. But damn it, he ain't on First Take. I am. And I'm telling you what I'm thinking about. And what I'm thinking about is the fact that because people had a problem with his daddy.
Stephen A. isn't sugarcoating it. Shedeur Sanders' draft slide is old news. Sure, he went from being a projected first-rounder to the 144th pick in the 5th round, but that's history. The real story? He's in the NFL now, and he's stepping onto the field as the Cleveland Browns' starting quarterback tomorrow. That's the headline that matters. Stephen A. says Shedeur's focus should be locked on one thing and one thing only, his game. And if there's one thing this kid can do, it's play. Forget the draft drama. It's time to show why he belongs. But Stephen A. also dropped a reality check. Shedeur's not walking into a locker room full of people waving pom-poms for him. There are folks who don't like him, who aren't rooting for him, and frankly would rather see him fail. But that's nothing new for Shedeur. He's been facing critics and challenges his whole life, and every single time, he's found a way to rise. Stephen A. believes his discipline, laser focus, and competitive fire are exactly what will push him through now. This isn't just about surviving. This is about proving every last doubter wrong and showing he was built for moments like this.
It affected his draft stock. And so you have folks out here that are not rooting for this brother, but he's accustomed to adversity. He's accustomed to defying the odds. He's got that intestinal fortitude.
Then Kimberly A. stepped in, bringing a whole different angle to the discussion. For her, this moment isn't just an opportunity, it's a heavy responsibility for Shedeur Sanders. The spotlight, she said, isn't only about what he can accomplish. It's about the immense pressure riding on every single snap he takes. Kimberly cautioned that even if Shedeur delivers a strong performance, there will still be people ready to pick it apart, scrutinizing every throw and decision. And if he slips up, it won't just be Shedeur catching the heat. His backers, Stephen A. included, will be dragged into the fire as well. In her eyes, this isn't just a game. It's a true test of how Shedeur carries the weight of expectation and stands tall under the glare of the NFL stage.
He has an opportunity, he has to take it, because every rep he gets, that's all he's gonna have. But I think if he struggles, people will be like, oh, see, Stephen A. Smith was on TV talking about how he should have started, and now look. He's not, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's gonna be watching every single move.
Swagoo came in with a completely different take, calling this a golden chance for Shedeur Sanders to put his stamp on the QB1 job. In Swagoo's eyes, one strong performance could send shockwaves through the league, making it clear that the way the Browns have handled him so far was flat out wrong. But he didn't dress it up. He acknowledged this won't be some smooth, easy ride. The NFL is unforgiving, and Shedeur's about to be tested under extreme pressure, especially with the team's third-round pick still waiting on the sidelines. For Swagoo, this is the moment for Shedeur to flip the script, rewrite his story, and force everyone to see him as more than just a late-round pick. This is his chance to make the league take notice.
has to look at this as a prime opportunity to now enter himself into the conversation about if the he can make everybody in the world believe Cleveland made a mistake, right? Because the same quarterback that they took 2 rounds prior to him is there as well in Dylan Gabriel. So to me, I don't look at it as, well, he's being set up to fail. The NFL hard. I don't care if you get drafted first. We still talk. The jury's still out on Trevor Lawrence.
Stephen A. closed out his take by making one thing crystal clear. Yes, there are plenty of question marks floating around the Browns quarterback room right now, but that doesn't give Shedeur Sanders any kind of free pass. Uncertainty with the other QBs doesn't change the assignment. Shedeur still has to step on that field and leave a mark that can't be ignored. Every single rep is a chance to prove something, and Stephen A. hammered home that Shedeur needs to show he's earned each one. This isn't about coasting on potential or living off his last name. It's about proving, snap after snap, that he can shoulder the pressure, command the huddle, and truly be the guy for Cleveland. In Stephen A.'s view, respect in the NFL isn't given, it's taken, and tomorrow is Shedeur's shot to take it. Stephen A. didn't pump the brakes. He went straight at the Cleveland hierarchy, openly questioning whether something deeper, even racial bias, could be in play. He laid it out plain. If Shedeur Sanders steps in, plays at a high level, and still ends up parked behind Joe Flacco, then the noise around the Browns is going to be deafening, and not the kind they want. Stephen A. warned that a decision like that wouldn't just raise eyebrows, it would ignite a full-blown conversation about fairness, opportunity, and the organization's true motives. In his view, if Shedeur proves himself on the field, there's simply no valid reason to hold him back, unless, as he put it, there's an uncomfortable truth the Browns don't want to face.
Wagyu was on camera saying what he said. Yep. He's right. I'm going to be watching. We all going to be watching. And if Shedeur Sanders goes out there and looks good and somehow, some way is low on the depth chart because of Joe Flacco's of the world and the Dylan Gabriels of the world, let's just say we're going to be talking about the Cleveland Browns.
All right, we got more first
We'll leave it at
take.
that.
Stephen A. has already done what he calls a full post-mortem on why this whole situation could be setting Shedeur Sanders up to fail. In his eyes, the writing's on the wall. Shedeur hasn't had a single rep with the first-team offense. Not one. He's been kept on the sidelines, never given the time to build rhythm or chemistry with the starters who'll be on the field with him. And now, without warning, he's being tossed into the fire as the starter. To Stephen A., that's not just poor planning. It's a deliberate setup for failure. The timeline doesn't make sense, the preparation isn't there, and he's questioning why this move is happening like this. In his words, something doesn't add up, and he's not afraid to call it exactly what it looks like.
There's been 11 practices, if I remember correctly. He's been starting against he's been playing against the third unit. He's fourth on the depth chart. And then suddenly you throw him into the start lineup, and he hasn't had any reps with the first team at all.
Stephen A. took it even further, stripping away any doubt about where he thinks the real decision is coming from. This, he said, isn't about the head coach or the GM. It's about Jimmy Haslam pulling the strings from the top. According to Stephen A., Haslam is in damage control mode, desperate to protect his own image, and in the process, he's tossing Shedeur Sanders, a quarterback with 0 first-team reps, straight into the fire. Stephen A. reminded everyone that Shedeur wasn't even a player the Browns truly wanted in the first place, yet now he's being used as a pawn in a much bigger PR game. In his view, this isn't a football decision. It's a calculated move, designed to shield the reputation of an owner at the expense of a young quarterback's career. Stephen A. Smith made sure to set the record straight. He's not predicting Shedeur Sanders will fail. In fact, he sees this as a huge chance for the young quarterback to show what he's made of. But in Stephen A.'s eyes, the timing and the way this whole thing is unfolding tell a different story about the people in charge, especially Jimmy Haslam. He believes Haslam isn't setting the table for Shedeur to truly succeed. Instead, the way this is being orchestrated feels like a no-win situation, one where even if Shedeur lights it up, the conversation will still be clouded by controversy. It's as if Haslam is building a narrative where the spotlight never fully lands on Shedeur's talent, but instead stays fixed on the bigger, messier issues surrounding the Browns.
This looks suspicious. You know, like you want him to fail. I hope he doesn't. I don't believe he will. And I do believe the opportunity is incredible for him, but I don't like how it's going down.
At the end of the day, this isn't just about one game or even one season. It's about the narrative being built around Shedeur Sanders before he's even had a fair shot. Between Stephen A's warnings, Kimberly's concerns, Swagu's optimism, and the questions about Jimmy Haslam's true motives, one thing is clear. Tomorrow's start could define more than just Shedeur's place on the Browns' depth chart. It's a moment loaded with pressure, politics, and perception. If Shedeur thrives, he has the chance to silence critics, shift the conversation, and prove he's not just a late-round pick filling a spot, he's a quarterback who belongs. But if things go wrong, fair or not, it could feed into the very doubts and agendas that have been swirling around him since draft day. Either way, all eyes will be on Cleveland, and whatever happens next will echo far beyond the final whistle. So what do you think? Does this feel like a genuine opportunity for Shedeur Sanders, or is it a carefully crafted setup for failure? Do you believe Jimmy Haslam is pulling the strings for his own image, or is this simply the nature of high-pressure NFL business? If Shedeur goes out and plays lights out, will the Browns give him the respect and role he's earned, or will politics and preconceived narratives keep him on the sidelines? And most importantly, is this the game where Shedeur finally flips the script and proves, once and for all, that he was built for this moment?